so that we are making a difference to the girl and on a larger scale. What we are doing may be in a smaller scale. Now, if we get financial help that way in our trainings and in implementation of the program, we carry the same program to a larger audience.
As you mentioned that the educational setup or educational institutes are the main source where the girls are coming to you. As we know that there are very less number of girls, just 20% out of total population they are getting education, and just 5% they are getting higher education. So do you have any other plan or any other mechanism that you can manage girls from another institutes or communities or like that?
You're right. No, we have, it is known as inclusion. When we include open companies also, there are communities that have community centers, like the Khanis. They have the community centers. We have an already made structure. So we have open companies that work through those community centers. Then we have people out of school children, and we work with them. It could be early learning centers. We have made early learning centers, and we work with those children. But these are projects like around Islamabad. There's Moda Nangyal, Jigyot and Chakshazad. There are 3 centers being run by the Pakistan Girl Guides, ICT branch and the national headquarters. Early learning centers have been opened there. So we call that inclusion. We can have small term projects also, and we can have large term projects run with them. Because the end product is to bring awareness to a child. It could be for duration of smaller time, like with the IDPs, during the earthquake, during the flood. When we went to the flood relief camps, there we got the relief, these flood effects for about a month or so. We went to that camp, we conducted like a project. We had 3-pronged activities going on. We gave the little storybooks and paper and pencil and coloring books to the children in their bags, and they were carrying on these activities. And then we had an industrial home sort of setup where we provided cloth and thread and embroidery material and sewing machines to the women. And then we had these awareness drives, like the health and nutrition awareness drives with them. So these projects were going on. This carried on till the effectives were there in that camp. When they left, automatically that finished. The same was happening during the earthquake in the H11 tent city here. For 3 months, Girl Guides were working in that relief camp, giving them nutritional awareness, because there they wanted to learn to make something so they could keep them for themselves to be used as nutrition, for nutritional purposes. And they wanted some health awareness scheme drive with them. Then we carried on, we gave them skill development, and there were children who wanted to learn. So these girls were there, they were working in groups, and they were providing these. There were groups of girls going to 7 makeshift hospitals during the earthquake, where they were attending the patients there. They were given trauma management training. 150 girls were given trauma management training who went to these hospitals, and they worked with these females and the girls and the children. They had small nurseries where they were dealing with the children. They were giving all the material to them to read and stuff.
And can you tell us that how guiding is important for an individual or common people, or guiding, how can it create impact on her or his personal life and as a whole society?
I would also like to add, only one word on this question. There's gender, especially gender gap is an issue in Pakistan. How this Girls Guide as association can contribute filling this gap on individual, a girl, and the women, and then whole society.
First of all, I'll answer you. What do we do? What I say is, there's a guide and there's a non-guide. A girl, when she's a non-guide and when she becomes a guide, is a step forward. And how does that happen? that happen is because our program first talks about herself. Who are you? What are you? And what are your rights in this world? As a family member, what are your responsibilities? We don't just talk about rights. I've talked with junior guides and I say, you have a right to say no, but you have the responsibility to do this and that. She has the right, but if she fulfills her responsibility, then she gets the right. So they are made to feel the responsibility as a daughter, as a sister, as a wife, as a mother. These are your responsibilities. So these, and with that comes the right. Then the second thing comes is getting awareness of your surrounding. Where do you live? How do you contribute to this surrounding? If you are in a classroom, we start with the very basic. This classroom is your domain. You are responsible to keep it clean. You are responsible to keep it organized. So is her room. This is her responsibility. And then comes the community. You are part of the community. How can you make it better? And how can you bring a change in it? So guiding starts with the empowering the self, then taking those capabilities to your peers and your family, and then giving it back to your community, so that you become part of the community. If the community is doing well, it is because you are contributing it to it. And if the community is not doing good, that means you are not contributing enough. So this awareness makes a person one step forward to a non-guide. That is how it happens. And then when you talk about gender parity, now here is a tricky question. When we talk about gender parity, mostly it is like boys and girls together. Boys and girls together may not be gender parity. Maybe the boys are trying to boss the girls. Gender parity means equal rights. The girl, if she wants to work, should have a right to work. If the girl wants to go out into the world, she should have a right to do so. If she wants to become a lawyer, she should have a right to do so. If she wants good food, she should have a right to have that good food, same as the brother is having. If she wants to become a doctor, if the brother is becoming a doctor, she should have the right to become a doctor as well. So understanding your right, but knowing your responsibilities as well. For a man or for a woman should be the same. The right to the same opportunities would be a gender parity, and that is what we teach the child. That you can avail the opportunity if you fulfill the responsibilities. So gender parity comes in itself when she knows that these are my responsibilities, when she knows these are my rights and I can stand for it. We have had girls in our camps who come up and say, you know, I fought with my father to come to this camp because I had to explain it to him. Yes, it will be a secure place. I had to explain this is what girl guides do. I had to explain it to him, this is what happens. But she did come. And the fathers, and then we invite the parents to understand what guiding is all about. But another way, are we sending a message across to the community what we are doing? If they understood us well, they wouldn't be stopping the child. But the girl did have that right. She did stand up for her right, and she did come. So when we talk about gender parity, for us, co-education or all girls or all boys education doesn't make any difference. Because gender parity is her right to different aspects in life. It could be education, it could be career, it could be having the same nutrition, it could be health, having the same right as a brother.
You mentioned about this such a good program under government means supervision, and then very clear guidance, and then very good history. But for all these means it's not that much we be popular, we could not make that, we could attract means each girl to this organization, to this association. And where do you see that why it's happening really? Do we not teach our children at school level that you have to do practical things, you have to contribute in the communities, you have to, it's happening as a service learning in different countries, and then what they teach, what they are taught in the classroom, they have to do practical things. Do you feel that it should also be a part of school's curriculum and many other areas, that it will build a kind of attitude in the children?
Oh, yes, because yes, you are right, it should be there, it should be part of the curriculum. A community service should be part of the curriculum, and that is what I keep saying. Guiding is like community service. Guiding is working with the community, and if it was part of our education system, automatically guiding would become part of the education system. So we have to realize, and this I feel the policymakers have to realize, because when you are